Hey, welcome in, everybody. This is Trevor Williams with Guns Up Nation, joined by John Krueger from the Daily Sentinel in Nacogdoches. John, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good, good. So going into this weekend's matchup with Stephen F. Austin, I wanted to start with a question that maybe some Tech fans may not have any idea about, but can you explain to those the ASUN WAC AQ7 conference that we're going to be seeing this year?
Well, Stephen F. Austin joined the WAC this year, and there's only going to be, I believe it was 5 schools in the WAC this year. So we weren't going to have an AQ. And so what they wanted to do was there was 4 schools that came in from Texas into the WAC, and then so we were going to have 5 schools, but it wasn't enough. We could have a conference championship,
Right.
but we just didn't have enough to have the AQ. So they combined with the ASUN, which didn't have enough of their own. And for 1 year, the NCAA gave us a one-time only, I guess, opportunity to play together. There were 7 schools, and we're going to be playing for the AQ7, as that's what we're called for this year. And so you can technically win, I guess, 2 conference championships, but
Sure.
only one of them will get you in the playoffs.
Right, very well. And that's an automatic qualifier into the FCS playoffs, right?
Correct.
Perfect. So Texas Tech, obviously in the FBS, and then Stephen F. Austin will be competing there for an FCS berth. Okay, so a little clarification there. What are your overall expectations for the team this year?
This is going to be a year that SFA can really make a positive stance in the FCS. I don't think they're going to make it like a run for the national championship or anything like that, but we're under a real big rebuilding about 3 years ago when we hired Cole McCarthel as our head coach. But basically, he went from the ground up, did a lot of high school recruiting. First year, we won. I think it was 1 game. We won. No, actually, we won 3 games the first year. We won 6 games last year.
Okay.
And this is the year that majority of the guys are back. Of course, everybody has the opportunity to get an extra year of eligibility, which was perfect for Stephen F. Austin because of the fact that they had so many young players on the team.
Okay.
And so this is a year that they thought they could really compete for a conference championship. Although Sam Houston State was the defending national champion in the spring, so they're going to be the team to beat. But I think Stephen F. Austin has a legitimate shot for second in the WAC this year.
Perfect. And I saw that they were second in the coaches poll to start the year, so
Yep.
Definitely on par there. Was there a certain position group that stood out to you in the first game, a 20-10 win over Tarleton?
Yeah, the one area that SFA was really pushing for big improvement this year was the offensive line. And the offensive line was something that had hurt in the first 2 years because of the fact that they were so young. Coming into this year, they wanted to really establish a running game, and you really got to have an offensive line that can establish themselves and get that running game going because they got good receivers. They got a good quarterback back. This is the 3rd year for our starting quarterback. And so, but you got to have that offensive line. And during the first game, they rushed for 164 yards, which is a big accomplishment for this program. And I think the offensive line stood out because they have a lot of depth and they're able to open up some holes and it allowed the passing game to be successful as well.
Okay, very well. And tagging along with that, is there maybe an under the radar player on that SFA offense to keep an eye on this Saturday?
It's hard to say because this year they have a preseason All-American and Xavier Gibson is a wide receiver. But what they started doing last week was they really spread the ball out in the passing game. Trey Self, the quarterback, he spread the ball out to 8 different receivers. So Gibson, who was really the main player, he caught 52 passes in each of the last 2 years. He really wasn't the main receiver, and so there's several receivers that have really they didn't really make a lot of noise, but he was able to spread the ball around so much that I think it makes the offense more gives more respect to the passing game because other teams can't just key on one guy.
Yeah, no, very good. And I know you were touching on the O-line there as a big improvement. Is that position group matchup that you're looking forward to the most in this Saturday's game, or is there another position group matchup, whether it's Tech's offense, SFA's defense in certain areas? Is there a certain position group matchup that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I think SFA has talked a lot about their defensive line, and I think that's going to be a big key because obviously when you're going with a FCS team playing the FBS team, there's a lot of difference in the number of scholarships. There's usually a difference in the size of the players and the depth of the teams. And SFA's defensive line, they've got 8 to 10 players that can really play a lot.
Okay.
And so if you're going to slow down an FBS team like Texas Tech, I think the defensive line is where it starts.
Okay. Very well. And is there one or maybe a couple keys for Stephen F. Austin to at least make this game close, say going into the third, fourth quarter?
I think the key to that is just not to beat themselves. That's one of the things that they did against Tarleton State in the opener. I think they were flat coming out in that game, but they didn't let the game get away from them. There wasn't a lot of penalties. They did turn the ball over a couple of times, but it's just the old adage of don't beat yourselves, and you got a good chance of staying in the ball game. And I think they did that this week against Tarleton. I think that's what they did successfully last season when they went 6-4. The only teams that beat them were FBS schools, and they were in some of those games until the third and fourth quarters, and it was because they weren't beating themselves.
Sure. No, very well. And last thing here, is there a final score prediction from you?
I was just doing that because I do a column every week on scores and so forth. I think that Tech will win by 13, maybe 27-14. I think SFA's defense is good enough that they can hang in there for a while, and I think they'll hang in until sometime in the third quarter, and then that's usually when the FBS teams start, pulling out again, so to speak. And I say so 27-14 will probably is my prediction for the final score.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thanks again, John, for your time. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Trevor Williams here with Guns Up Nation, joined by John Krueger from the Daily Sentinel in Nacogdoches. You can follow him on Twitter at John_Krueger. And that is all for today. So thank you so much, John. Enjoy the game, and best wishes and best of luck to you guys this season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.